said, "Only allowing council members to choose the Prime Minister is a flawed system, vulnerable to corruption and outside influence. The people of the Alliance should have a direct mandate to determine their leader by casting individual votes." Political journalist Vanya Driscoll reported for the Alliance Tribune. Although Kane stopped short of claiming that Mart's victory was achieved fraudulently, the Assembly took a dim view of this attempt at electoral overhaul. Some council members accused her of failing to accept that her policies received considerably less support.
All clear. Safe travels, Commander.
Than those of her rival. Despite this, a few accepted that there could be merit in such a restructure. However, organizing public voting across all alliance systems would be much harder than in democracies with a more established infrastructure, such as the Federation, or that have smaller populations, such as the Marlinist colonies. Sirius Corporation, the fourth superpower, the galaxy's largest megacorporation, is continuing to influence the political arena and affect billions of lives. A review was published by Marlon Royce, business analyst for Vox Galactica. With its own government, laws and naval fleet, it's not surprising that Sirius Corporation is occasionally referred to as the fourth superpower. That now seems to be its actual goal, as its impact upon interstellar politics increases. When Sirius Corporation resettled Marlinist refugees in their own colony systems, it averted war between the Empire and the Federation. But this seemingly altruistic move enabled CEO Li Yongrui to claim political neutrality, gaining public support to host the Galactic Summit in the Sirius system. That success was undermined by the controversy of granting diplomatic status to pirate warlord Archon Delane. Rumors of secret business dealings were reinforced when Sirius subsidiaries appeared alongside the Kumo crew's new starport. High-level agreements were also made with the Alliance, with Sirius Atmospherics aiding colonization of the Coalsack Nebula. But some believe that its project to terraform ammonia worlds brought retaliatory strikes from the Thargoids and enormous casualties. The latest news is of a collaboration with technology brokers to make a previously limited ship module commercially available. Is this a shrewd business decision, or part of Sirius Corporation's strategy of political dominance? ACT continues to hunt NMLA terrorists. The affiliated counter-terrorism unit has published an update on its investigation into the Neo-Marlinist Liberation Army. Senior Agent Tanya Ramirez, one of ACT's joint leaders, gave a statement to the media. ACT is currently pursuing multiple lines of inquiry, which must remain classified for reasons of security. Our agents are gathering evidence from sites across the Alliance, Empire, and Federation.
Roger that. I'm booting up the fighter. Fighter is now active. Standing by.
Welcome aboard, Commander.
Looks like we got more than one target to contend with, Commander. Let's take them out before their frame shift goes live. Ready to bring the fighter back to the ship, Commander. Fighters safely in the hold.
capacity. Incoming message.
Detachment complete. Exit the station quickly and safely.
cannot report any significant breakthroughs. NMLA activists appear to use a dark comms network that defies detection. They also compartmentalize their operations, so individual cells have little knowledge of each other. In recent months, NMLA incidents have been restricted to minor strikes against imperial authorities, which were dealt with by local police forces. There has been no activity by Theta Group, the hardcore extremists responsible for the 9 Martyrs starport bombings. The collapse of the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid may have deprived the NMLA of their logistical capability to deliver large-scale attacks. But it remains possible that a new wave of terrorist atrocities is being planned. ACT later confirmed that it has recruited additional personnel from Alliance Interpol, the Federal Intelligence Agency, the Imperial Internal Security Service, the Marlinist Constabulary, Nova Imperium's Praetorian Guard, and the Warglass Investigations Agency. The legacy of the Hesperus. Pilots Federation alert. Commanders in the Chukchan and Perseus Dark Region KCVC-22 systems have reported being contacted by Salvation. The anonymous individual is known to have an interest in the Adamastor and the Hesperus, the ghost ships within those systems. Both of the derelict megaships were operated 200 years ago by Azimuth Biochemicals. Commander Tyler Thorson told Vox Galactica, "I was taking some sightseers on a trip around the Hesperus and getting as close as I dared to the Scrivener's clan dredger. I scanned the tourist beacon for them and suddenly received a direct message from this Salvation guy. He asked me to track down some old signal beacons, which are listening posts configured to retransmit long-range comms. Apparently these could help locate the survivors from the megaship. But the Hesperus is ancient history. Surely there can't be anything or anyone left to find?" In April, Salvation unofficially recruited independent pilots to locate the Hesperus and to deliver its surviving logs to Taurus Mining Ventures. The Pilots Federation is running an inquiry into Salvation and his associates. Commanders are being cautioned against undertaking tasks for what may be an illegal enterprise. Core Dynamics triumphs against Jupiter Division. Pilots Federation alert. The corporate faction Jupiter Division has been defeated by the Silver Legal Group in the Sautak system. The breakaway faction from Core Dynamics was unable to resist efforts by its parent company to recover ships and resources. Jupiter Division will soon be subsumed by Core Enterprises, a
Frameshift drive charging.
subsidiary of Core Dynamics. Owen McKenna, the CEO of Core Dynamics, declared, "Thanks to the Silver Legal Group and other loyal allies of the Federation, we have finally crushed this criminal enterprise. Let this be an end to the delusions of Jupiter Rochester. Many news feeds believe that Jupiter Division's defeat will have a negative impact on the corporatist movement that has recently emerged within some central systems. Director Theodore Sullivan of the Silver Legal Group confirms that the two fought on their side can now collect payments from the Iron Wings of Justice Megaship in the Sautak system." Neo-Marlinist political party emerges. Minister Aaron White, leader of the Marlinism Reformation Party, has confirmed that it aims to politically represent the Neo-Marlinist fringe. At a meeting of the Marlinist Parliament, Minister White declared, "Not all of the Neo-Marlinist community seek a violent uprising to end the Duval family's 1,000-year dictatorship. We can help replace desperate acts of rebellion with meaningful dialogue and public pressure." Several news feeds observed that White was attempting to rebrand Neo-Marlinism as being closer to the mainstream ideals of Marlinism. However, the possibility that the faction may now act as the political wing of the NMLA has caused widespread alarm. In related news, a recent election in the Hyades sector ROPB-62 system saw voters remove the Marlinism Reformation Party from power after it granted asylum to survivors from the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid. The system's new leader, Minister Octavia Volkov of the exiled Marlinist Assembly of Baltazine, announced, "My party believes in following Marlin Duval's example by building independent democracies, rather than reforming the empire. However, 3 of our colony systems have already fallen under the control of foreign factions. We urgently need support to keep the dream of a Marlinist republic alive. Aegis megaship vanishes in hyperspace. The Alexandria has failed to arrive in the HIP 30944 system as scheduled, and may have been hyperdicted by the Thargoids. The Aegis-owned megaship triggered an attack by Thargoid vessels when it traveled from the Delphi system to HIP 16538 on the 20th of May. Aegis believes this was caused by the large quantity of Guardian artifact in its cargo holds. To reduce the risk of further casualties, the Alexandria plotted a route to a low-population prison colony in the HIP 30944 system. All independent ships were undocked before it made the hyperspace jump on the 3rd of June. However, the megaship never reached its arrival point and all communication with it has ceased. Search teams in local systems have not detected its presence. Admiral Aidan Tanner, Chief Military Liaison with Aegis, informed the media, "We regret to announce a complete loss of contact with the Alexandria. Although there is no evidence of damage or destruction, its disappearance while traveling through hyperspace
LAC Tango Hotel Echo. Please approach the station at a safe speed and be mindful of other pilots in the area."
Is the possibility that it was intercepted en route by Thargoid forces. Captain Jacob Morales and over 4,000 crew members will be listed as missing presumed dead. In addition to this great tragedy, Aegis's research program into Guardian technology has been severely impacted by
Access granted. Cleared for landing on docking bay 10. Automated docking approved. You may now handle the control.
Core Dynamics engages Jupiter Division in battle. Pilots Federation alert. The corporate faction Jupiter Division is fighting for survival against the Silver Legal Group in the Sautax system. Jupiter Division was formed by Rogue Core Dynamics departments loyal to ex-CEO Jupiter Rochester. Although it was defeated in February, a growing corporatist movement within the Federation has helped rebuild its strength. A call to arms was made by Owen McKenna, the new CEO of Core Dynamics. Rochester's deranged cult must be wiped out once and for all. We are supporting our ally, the Silver Legal Group, to destroy Jupiter Division's fleet and allow us to retake our stolen resources. Vice Executive Blanca Carbonell, a senior leader of Jupiter Division, broadcast this message to all those seeking the better Federation.
Landing successful. Commence system shutdown. Report to station services for more information, Commander.
Up and make your voice heard. Only direct corporate rule can end government corruption. Jupiter Division must survive to lead that change. 2 megaships, Victory's Forge and Iron Wings of Justice, are once again serving as the centers of operation for Jupiter Division and the Silver Legal Group. Political commentators believe that this second conflict will be a decisive one, determining whether or not Jupiter Division can survive without its founder. Tritium mining campaign boosts Alliance expansion. Pilots Federation alert. Prime Minister Edmund Mart's request for mined tritium has concluded, paving the way for new Alliance starports. Large quantities of tritium were delivered, which will provide fuel for a civil infrastructure program designed to increase the Alliance's presence. As part of this expansion, new Alliance starports will be constructed in these systems by the 25th of June 3307. LHS 2522, Shari Sector FWWC 119. Prime Minister Mann, who was recently re-elected by the Assembly, told the media, "The economy of the Alliance will benefit greatly from investment in expansion. These new stations will provide more opportunities for individuals and corporations alike. Pilots who mined and delivered tritium can now collect their rewards from Dublin Citadel in the Gateway system."
Raxler, to the jewel that burns on the brow of the Mother of Galaxies, to the Whisperer in Witch Space, the Siren of the deepest void, the parent's grief, the lover's woe, and the yearning of our vagabond hearts. To Raxxla! Alleged toast of the Dark Wheel. The legend of Raxxla has been circulating, in whispers, for centuries. The quest for this mysterious place, the location of which is a deadly secret, was said to be the principal aim of the Dark Wheel, a putative fraternity of legend chasers from the early days of... The earliest recorded mention of Raxxla dates from 2296, from the Journal of Art Tornqvist, a shipboard mechanic based in the Tau Ceti system. He writes, Cora comes home, soused and raving with wild stories, a new one every night. She claims she's found a map to some pirate stash, and all I have to do is loan her my ship so we can go dig it up. Maybe we should go find Raxxla while we're at it. Although Tornqvist's account is the first known attestation of Raxxla, it is clear from context that the myth was already in circulation. It is extremely difficult to find consistency among the various fragmentary rumors of Raxxla. Much like the ancient myths of Atlantis, El Dorado, and the kingdom of Prester John, interpretations of the story range from the skeptical to the outlandish. Raxxla has been suggested to be anything from an unremarkable moon to a state of cosmic enlightenment. The earliest documented stories tend to agree on several points, however: that Raxxla is a definite place and that it holds a mystical secret. Several versions of the Raxxla story mention an alien artifact, the Omphilus Rift, described as a gateway or tunnel through which parallel universes can be accessed. These details, however, were later shown to bear a striking resemblance to the children's story, Princess Astrophel and the Spiraling Stars, and soon lost credibility. Undaunted, some Raxxla seekers insisted that the story's author had cunningly concealed facts about the mysterious locale in his book, as hints for those with eyes to see. Students of Raxxla lore have noted that the legend exerts a strangely potent fascination on the minds of seekers. Commentators have compared this sensation to Fernway, the uncountable longing for a place one has never seen. More than one interstellar treasure seeker has become obsessed with Raxxla to the exclusion of all other dreams, and spent his or her entire life in a futile search for it. Raxxla also plays a role in several conspiracy theories, most of which attest that it has already been discovered by some kind of sinister cabal or soul tyrant, which has leveraged its power to establish covert dominance over humanity. Whatever the truth of the matter, one thing remains irrefutable. The legend of Raxxla continues to inspire explorers and conspiracy theorists to this day. Colonia.
We were in a tight spot, and people came through for us without even being asked. That's what people do. Didn't hurt that the whole idea was flat out crazy, of course. That just made them more determined.
Jacques, owner of Jacques Station. Colonia lies some 22,000 light-years from the core systems, and was the first system in the Colonia Nebula to be settled by humanity. The circumstances of Colonia's founding are highly unusual. The system was colonized as a result of the spontaneous actions of independent pilots, rather than through a formal expansion program. The colonization of Colonia began with an accident involving Jacques Station, a jump-capable orbit starport. In May 3302, the station executed a long-distance jump to Beagle Point, but when it failed to reach its destination, it was feared lost. In June 3302, an independent pilot discovered Jacques Station in the EL-PRU RST D394 system, suffering from technical issues and effectively stranded. The galactic community reacted swiftly, launching an independent supply drive to restore the starport to functionality. The relief effort soon exceeded its original objective, and many of those involved began to see the distant system as a chance to establish a new community, far from the wearisome conflicts and entrenched viewpoints of the core systems. Talk of a permanent colony went from light-hearted speculation to serious planning. In September 3302, EL-PRU RST D394 was formally renamed Colonia, and the first permanent settlement was constructed on the surface of Colonia 2A. An influx of migrants boosted the system's population, aided financially by the Colonia Council, the region's new governing body, and materially by independent pilots. Colonia is widely viewed as a monument to community spirit and human ingenuity, as well as being the first step into a previously uninhabited region of space. Colonia's population is still small, but the region is undergoing continuous expansion and attracting attention from both enterprising corporations and optimistic migrants. To date, Colonia has remained untroubled by the strife that often plagues the core systems, earning it a reputation as a sanctuary. But it remains to be seen if this nascent community will thrive in isolation or be engulfed by political and corporate forces. The Thargoids. Human-Thargoid contact. The Thargoids are a non-human race with a history of hostility towards humanity. The first recorded encounter with a Thargoid ship took place in 2849, although earlier undocumented encounters are believed to have taken place. In the years that followed, contact with lone Thargoid vessels was intermittently reported. Humanity clashed with the Thargoids in the 32nd century, but details of the conflict remained scarce for many years, and it proved difficult to differentiate authentic accounts of Thargoid encounters from the sensationalist media stories of the time. The discovery of abandoned intergalactic Naval Reserve arm bases in 3303 did much to dispel the fog, however. The INRA, a joint federal imperial initiative established in 3193, was responsible for researching the Thargoids and developing technologies to
Dredger clan arrives at Kumo City. Pilots Federation alert. A Blue Viper club.
The Thargoids. Human-Thargoid contact. The Thargoids are a non-human race with a history of hostility towards humanity. The first recorded encounter with a Thargoid ship took place in 2849, although earlier undocumented encounters are believed to have taken place. In the years that followed, contact with lone Thargoid vessels was intermittently reported. Humanity clashed with the Thargoids in the 32nd century, but details of the conflict remained scarce for many years, and it proved difficult to differentiate authentic accounts of Thargoid encounters from the sensationalist media stories of the time. The discovery of abandoned intergalactic Naval Reserve arm bases in 3303 did much to dispel the fog, however. The INRA, a joint federal imperial initiative established in 3193, was responsible for researching the Thargoids and developing technologies to counter their aggression. But the organization's lack of accountability meant that the details of its research did not come to light until years after its dissolution. Almost all of the reliable data concerning the Thargoids has been sourced from INRA facilities. This data, originally deemed highly confidential, was declassified in 3304, following a resolution from the federal government and an imperial decree. Some controversy over the backing and funding of the INRA remains, however. The Dark Wheel.
Oh, they're out there, all right. I've never met them, but I know they're out there. Think about how well known the stories are. Now think about how easy it would be for some two-bit band of hucksters to pass themselves off as the Dark Wheel and start trading on their reputation. Doesn't happen, does it? Not for long, anyway. Whenever someone tries to usurp the Dark Wheel name, sooner or later they get quietly shut down. And that's how I know.
Felicity Farseer, Explorer. The Dark Wheel is the name given to a legendary group of adventurers, explorers, investigators, and treasure hunters, the existence of which is so lacking in corroborative evidence that it is generally considered a myth. The group is often mentioned in connection with the equally unsubstantiated Raxxla. Those who believe in the existence of the Dark Wheel consider it to be a continuous and clandestine organization, operating since the very earliest days of interstellar travel. According to the law, only a handful of the bravest and most competent pilots of each generation are honored with an invitation to join the group. It is a futile attempt to contact the Dark Wheel on one's own initiative. However, it is always they who initiate contact, initially in disguise, revealing their true identity only once a suitable test of courage and skill has been discreetly administered and passed. Opposing theories assert that new members are selected on the basis of lineage, with existing members covertly training their children and revealing the fact of their membership only when the child is ready. Conversely, some members are believed to go to great lengths to prevent their children from ever becoming involved, since the group's secrets are dangerous. According to the self-professed Dark Wheel expert Lita Crane, a conspiracy theorist and people's journalist who has painstakingly assembled an archive of relevant data, the original group was based in a disused starport, orbiting the 8th moon of an unnamed gas giant. The station was a toroid, hence wheel, and operated with a minimal power output so as to avoid detection, hence dark. Crane believes that this starport is still in use, and is the only means whereby the genuine Dark Wheel can verify its identity. New inductees can examine the records and artifacts preserved there, and thus satisfy themselves that the group has indeed been operating for centuries. No such starport has ever been found, however, and rival experts have accused Crane of forging her evidence in order to maintain the revenue from her billions of followers. Over the years, many people have claimed to be members of the Dark Wheel, to have identified some or all of the group's members, or to have discovered the group's location. But the contradictory nature of these claims suggests that most of them, if not all, are untrue. In 3300, a group identifying itself as the Dark Wheel emerged in the Shinrata Desra system, which is not accessible to pilots of lower than elite rank. It is not apparent if the group is a legitimate descendant of the original Dark Wheel, a reconstruction, or merely an opportunistic imitator.
Tango Hotel Echo. Heavy flight control online. Welcome, Commander. Request docking permission if you wish to land. Clearance granted. Proceed to landing pad 05. Landing operation complete. Commence system shutdown. Welcome, Commander. flight control now offline. Goodbye, Commander.
Frameshift drive charging.
landing pad 10. Automated docking approved. You may now hand over control. engaged. Enjoy your visit, Commander.
Access to docking bay facilities requires flight control authorization. Please submit a request before entering the docking bay.
maximum capacity.